It's post-game, and I still seem to have a quest left. Plus, everyone wants to chat. Let's start with Sola.
Now that Casman's trading with the Halfsiders, Khan Arteme has reached out to ask if I would forge arms for the Scouts. They've been wearing leftover Ark armor all this time. Though I'll have support from the Enclave's Smithing Guild, it'll be a long project.
Sev won't be teaming up with you on this one.
The Axle has Sev working on the tapestry right now. Besides, I'm just happy to see he's found his calling.
I didn't think it was possible, but he stands a little taller these days.
Me working with the guild, Sev controlling the weather, you kicking major ass at the heart of the Enclave? Who would have thought we'd wind up here when we first passed through the Veil?
Not me. Part of me thought the Ark of the Stricken Earth was going to do me in.
You had to know you had a chance at winning. We've all come a long way.
Do you ever miss the days when the stakes of the band's adventures were a little lower?
Strangely, not at all. It's been quite the rush. Though, give us a few more scares like you did when the scry cut out, and I might change my mind.
Don't worry. I can go without defying death again for at least a little while.
Right. We'll talk to Dom next, just...
Anyone else feeling a little lighter these days?
As a feather.
I feel like I can finally exhale.
Not everything is solved, but with the source stable, people are smiling at the hold again.
But no one else gets to contribute to that conversation. Dom?
Oh, drat. Wait, no, thoughtless Dom. I am delighted to see you up and about, Bryn.
Are you sure?
I am delighted to see you, and, as it turns out, Lane has just emptied my purse.
Never bet against the alchemist about recovery times.
Indeed. A lesson I have zero regrets about learning, for it means you are up sooner than I would have thought possible.
They bet on how long it would take me to recover. How nice. Can I get some details?
We clearly did something at the source, but was it enough?
To stabilize things? Oh, yes. What's become abundantly clear is that the source had been damaged, though we're not sure how. Perhaps a small surge that cascaded into the real surge? That's all in the past, though. The current flow of magic seems to be balanced such that the Veil is consuming most of it.
That sounds good, right?
Oh, most definitely. It leaves us at an equilibrium. That is so much better than the alternatives.
Alright. What happened?
What's going on with the Veil?
It's not coming down anytime soon, but it no longer seems to be overcharged. In retrospect, it's possible the Veil was the only thing that stopped the source from outright exploding.
How so?
Its activation pulled and continues to pull, mind you, an enormous amount of magic away from the source. That draw was enough to slow the rush of magic. It's possible the reason the Veil went up so suddenly was as an emergency measure.
Okay. You think the Ark is okay?
How's our little Ark friend holding up?
So far, very well. It continues to pacify the raw magic coming from the source, and is self-sustaining as far as we can tell, thanks to your little push. Please don't do that again, by the way. Very dangerous, and we're all terribly fond of you.
Okay. What's up with the tapestry?
How about the tapestry? No chance we've managed to remove all the tangles?
Alas, no. Take heart, though. Everything I have observed suggests things are not going to get worse. They may even improve in time, naturally, now that the raw magic flowing into the Enclave is regulated.
Alright, let's move on.
So, what's next for us, do you think?
I have every plan to continue studying the source while I can. The Axel's given me special dispensation. She feels my presence somewhat tempers the ambitions of the High Enchanter. He seems rather keen on becoming the next Spindle, less so on securing a sustainable future for the Enclave. At the same time, I'm told the Alchemists are making a hard push for their representative to take the position. Their political jockeying buys me time to poke and prod the Enclave secrets. I have no complaints. Sola's been teasing me about it incessantly, of course, reminding me to take a breath of all things. Which reminds me, I do have some things to attend to, so I won't bend your ear unnecessarily. Here if you need me for anything, Bryn of Carnhaven.
Okay.
There she is.
I live!
I'll admit, you had us all worried for a beat there. But it's good to see you back on your feet.
Any updates?
How have you and the other scouts been doing recently?
Exceptionally well. The Surgeborn are still out there, but they're disoriented, scattered, something like that.
That will be easier to deal with for everyone involved.
Yeah, still dangerous, but it's like they're roaming aimlessly and only acting on instinct.
Weren't they only acting on instinct before? Instinct to kill me? How are things holding up?
How are the people at Cassidon's Hold faring?
Everyone can feel it. Things are different. It's like a pressure we'd all got so used to is lifted.
Perhaps literally.
The raw magic, you mean? Hadn't thought of that, but you're probably right.
Okay. How are you doing?
Tell me about you, Eric. This has been a lot.
Well, on the one hand, still getting used to the title, but it is coming in handy for throwing my political weight around. Hirun and I don't always see eye to eye, but she's sharp and we work it out. We're hoping to lift the restrictions on the scouts mingling with the larger Hold populace for one. Lots of happy families.
And on the other hand?
I feel like I've won some kind of prize being allowed to spend time with your band. You're all such veterans as weavers. It's an honor to feel like I've been accepted.
Okay, moving on.
That all sounds positive. Any thoughts on where we go from here?
Well, there's one very important thing. You are not allowed to die or make me think you died anymore.
Oh, spirits. Yes, of course. I can work very hard on the staying alive front, just for you.
All of us? Really? You didn't see the band's faces when the scry cut out. These people adore you. Anyway, beyond that, it's hard to say. I suppose we start to reclaim things. The Veil's not down, just stable. We work with that and see what other wild curves this place throws at us. And with you and your band here, I'm pretty sure we can handle anything.
Alright.
You were tremendous at the source. I'll admit, I was rather worried about you, but... well, you made it through. And, dare I say, defined a generation of weavers in the process. You've made history and lived to tell the tale. Tremendous work.
All in a day's work.
So few words for such a momentous achievement.
I need to keep that ego under control after all.
I don't think anyone could blame you for having an inflated ego after taking down the greatest foe imaginable all by yourself.
And yet I must restrain myself. What a cruel world. So, what's next on our to-do list?
Getting back into the thick of it already. Let me check my notes. I have a line of research I'd like to pursue. Come find me when you're ready.
Sounds interesting. I'm all over it.
I look forward to discussing it with you. It's been a remarkably difficult chapter for all of us. While there's still more to do, I think we can take a moment to congratulate ourselves on making it this far. Only then can we look forward. And after all, who knows what the future holds?
And after we congratulate ourselves, what then?
We get back to it, just like we always do.
Well said.
Nope, you have more talk. I could probably just...
Would you have preferred the five-headed poison-spitting lizards in the end? What? Back when we were working to undo Asylum. You said you'd be fine if the underground was filled with five-headed lizards spitting poison. Don't you remember?
You're an odd one, Lane. You know that. We wouldn't change a thing about you, though. But as far as five-headed lizards spitting poison, it's hard to say.
A lot has happened. But suppose the five-headed lizards didn't speak.
Then I would take them over the Talon's snark any day.
We have our answer.
Are there five-headed lizards? Is that a secret boss? I hope so.
I don't know many weavers who could do what you just did and survive. Scratch that. I don't know any.
I feel a bit lightheaded from all the tonics. But otherwise, I'm back up on both feet.
We thought you had...
Darm and the Axel practically tossed me through the loom gate after I made my way back up the rope. They looked pretty shocked. I suppose, even with the tangles disappearing, the odds of me making it out of the chasm were slim.
Let alone surviving what the spindle didn't. You know, channeling your magic into that arc was risky.
She did it for the Enclave. So did I. And you would have done the same.
I can't argue with that. On to the next adventure, then.
On to the next.
It is good to see you up and about again.
Thanks, Ev. Nothing keeps me down for long.
True, but don't go expecting anyone to pin a medal on you. Solar still doesn't think we should waste the materials.
Aw, you remembered. So, what's next for you, big guy?
The only thing left for me and Tarza are assassins. So, it looks like I'm staying. Not that the Veil gives us much choice, but you take my meaning.
The Axel will love to have someone with your expertise around.
Yes, I am a better collaborator than Stanhild, she tells me. And she's willing to provide whatever I need. Just so long as it stabilizes things, and I mean that politically as well as magically.
She's like my mother, always thinking about her role more than herself. Still, powerful patron to have on your side.
And unlike my last patron, at least she seems honest about our relationship. We will both benefit from my work.
Yup. Okay, let's go ahead and pet. Alright. Talk to my girlfriend.
Now that you're walking and the color has returned to your cheeks, there's a few things I need to say. First, I love you.
I love you too.
Second, if you ever scare me like that again, I'll end you faster than any herald ever could.
So romantic.
Third, I love you.
Love this list format, but you already said that.
I really like saying it.
Good. We've got a lifetime of saying it ahead of us.
With everything at the source behind us, I can see it.
Yeah? Give me another list then. What does our lifetime together look like?
For starters, it looks like reading next to one another by the fire each night.
That sounds perfect.
Second, if we ever get out of the Veil, I'll take you sailing.
Nothing but open ocean around us sounds pretty good right now.
And lastly, maybe kids, if we decide we want them.
Whatever our family looks like, it will be perfect for us.
For now, I'm content to keep having adventures with you. Just wait a while before diving into your next death rift, please.
For you, anything.
Oh, more talk.
The Axel and I have opened up trade between our band and the Hearthsiders to support Sev's work with the Aeroliths. She seems lighter since you got back from the source.
I'll have to check in with her and see for myself.
The relief efforts showed me it's difficult to pinpoint when a community is coming out of crisis. But there is one common marker. People start putting things on their calendar again. Could be as small as an appointment with your local apothecary, or as big as sending invitations to your wedding. You can't plan for the future when tomorrow's not a guarantee.
You think the Hearthsiders are starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel?
Not even close. But they're starting to live again regardless.
Alright. My only issue is it's only been 50 days and we're already saying I love you. When is too soon? Because she's only known me for 50 days. And we've dated a lot less than that. So I don't know, it just seems a bit odd. According to the ending cutscene, the eye left. Kenrick left? Nope, he's still here.
It seems I owe you and Sebastian a word of thanks.
Unexpected, but you're welcome. What's happening?
Herun has seen fit to approve my involvement in the tapestry repair. As much as it is irksome to be assigned work, I will confess I was getting rather bored and lost in my own thoughts. Something to do will help, I'm sure.
Alright. Got any gold yellow bricks here? I have found 10 of what I assume are 75. So it would be really nice if you guys had any at all.
Goodness, you're irrepressible. You've just been to the brink of death and back, but you're already back up and at it. You're allowed to take a break, you know.
I get bored easily. Much rather be out here getting things done.
Well, I'll say this. Your efforts haven't gone unnoticed. With the Ark of Verdance doing its work at the source, the raw magic is beginning to dissipate. In time, we'll be able to secure a workspace. Then, we can start repairing the tapestry. Everyone in the hold has begun to look to the future. Many never had a reason to. Children and adults alike, sensing the intoxicating allure of newborn hope.
I know what it's like to watch your people rebuild after dark times. It's hard, but beautiful too.
I've been asked by a citizen committee to establish our first new holiday in decades. Spindle's Day, they want to call it.
Ah. How do you feel about it?
I wish things were different. And I know she would have hated all the attention, but I think it's right.
She'd be really proud of you for stepping up.
I would hope so too. It is the least I can do to honor her memory, day by day. When we met, before your expedition to the source, I was ready to tell you that it was completely reckless. But when you ran through how everyone contributes to your success, that was the moment I knew we might have a chance. I wasn't quite as confident as you, but I at least felt something close to it.
And how about now?
I believe you can do anything you put your mind to. Anything else would be ignoring the incredible achievements of some truly unexpected guests.
I'll let them know you said that.
Please do. As always, I have a great deal on my plate to get back to. Promise me you'll take a break. If only to spend time with the people you care about.
I will.
Oh, more talk.
You just couldn't take a break, could you? But no, Instead, you had to unearth a revelation so dangerous it could destabilize the entire Maida Basin.
Not my fault. Incredible discoveries just fall into my lap.
Right. I admire the work your band did on researching the Herald. Lane, in particular. Hold on tight to them. They're an extremely valuable resource.
Their contributions are tremendous. The alchemy alone. With that, plus the number of times their research has saved our hides, I don't think they could leave the Weaver Band even if they tried. We wouldn't let them.
You would be fools to do so. I wanted to mention, by the way, if you could pass this along, Lane's welcome to visit the Hold anytime. Open invite. I'll always appreciate hearing their thoughts.
I'll pass it along.
Now, I'd better get back to it. Paperwork won't do itself.
Your girlfriend just died and you're already falling for Lane? Also, that conversation was because I have notes on the Herald. That's story progression. That wasn't anything new, but the Axle's acting like I went out of my way and didn't rest. All of that research is from the 2 story missions to kill the Herald. You got more talk.
I'm encouraged by the research Sev's done on the tapestry. He has a quick mind.
The opportunity to prove himself outside of the Norians means a lot to him.
We're going to find out what he can do with a team backing him up. It's key we repair the tapestry as quickly as possible. I shudder to think what might happen if the Ark of Verdance should fail.
So I don't think that one is story related. I've just completed the research on the tapestry. We're 1 location away, which means we're not done yet. I wonder where the tapestry's at. Still have Enclave history to do. Guilds and organizations. Beavers. Missing 1. The Herald, yeah, we got that just from, you know, killing it twice. Alright, let's get started on this quest for Lane.
Pleasant afternoon to you. What's on your mind?
I've got something that I'm struggling to believe.
Then it must be something rather special.
It's about something the Herald said when I fought it in the source. It said that it was from elsewhere. A place we wouldn't be able to understand. And the Herald claimed to be older than the Surge. Much older.
That is a fascinating assertion. And we've received reports of it reappearing after you defeated it.
Right. I heard that too. I would have mentioned this earlier, but with all the action and me almost dying...
Say no more. I do, however, think that Oria and Darm need to hear about this too. Oria? Darm? Would you mind coming over here?
You're looking uncharacteristically serious, Lane.
I'm looking normal, I think. But you are correct.
Rin?
The Herald claimed to have existed for a long time before the Surge. And it said that at the heart of the source, there's a breach between worlds. That's where the Surgeborn came from.
I don't know how we'll tell everyone about this. Will they panic? Will they even believe us? Should we tell them at all?
Hold on, Lane. You're jumping to conclusions. It's possible that the Surgeborn was lying.
It's true. Even though it never technically lied to Bryn, it certainly enjoyed its little mind games.
I really don't think that's the case. It wanted Bryn to join it, and this would explain so much about the origin of the Surgeborn.
I believe the solution to our worries is, as always, more research. Bryn, since we've received reports of the Herald reappearing, would you mind hunting it down for us again? Specifically, to know for sure whether it is as otherworldly as it claimed to be, I will need you to harvest its pattern, as fresh as possible for me.
Absolutely. I've already killed this thing twice. A third time will be a piece of cake.
Splendid. Understanding the unknown kills any fear it may hold over us. Is this course of action acceptable to you two?
Yes. Sounds good to me. What do you think, Lane? Would that make you feel better?
I suppose that's a sensible way forward. Sorry, big revelation. I need to take some time to process this. Dom, will we analyze the resonance together? I need to prepare my workstation.
One step at a time, my friend.
Of course. The resonance, yes. Good luck, Bryn.
Don't need luck when I've got a team like you behind me.
I have to go fight this thing a third freaking time. It better be easier, okay? It's an annoying fight. A shift.
Lane, I heard you edited the Axel's speech for Spindle's Day. It was lovely.
It was beautifully written. I made some minor grammatical edits, but the soul of the speech was perfect. Brilliance, selflessness, and sacrifice like hers comes along once in a lifetime.
Yeah. That line got me too.
A shift in perspective. I have to go fight this thing a third time. And obviously I haven't grinded anymore since the last time I fought it. Let's do a save. So if it's overpowered still, it's not that it's overpowered. It's that it's just tanky as shit because I don't want to grind. Harvest the Surgeborn Herald to collect a preserved Herald resonance. While I was fighting the Surgeborn, it told me that it had come here from another world, though I'm suspicious of its motive in telling me this. It's a stone I can't leave unturned, especially now that I've seen it reappear. I haven't, actually. Lane, Dom, and Oria agree we should investigate further, though Lane is naturally concerned about the implications of another world. They've asked me to harvest a resonance from the Herald's pattern now that it's reappeared. Do I get to choose what I trade into? Okay, what do I need for upgrading my freaking sword? I upgrade this. I need Sovereign, Interim, and Cinder Infused Linen. Cost 40 for that shit. They all cost 40. Now, I didn't even count to see how many I needed. Okay. Upgrade.
Perfect pair.
Two and one. This is just very unenjoyable to watch. That's why I haven't been doing it the whole game. No one wants to watch me scrap, but I don't edit. I don't have time for that. That's a time sink for real content creators. Okay, trade. Did I buy two? Okay. Now I have three, but I don't know how many levels there are. So we at least know it goes to 4. So it probably goes to 5. So I need to buy... Not like it's gonna matter. It becomes unhittable, right? It'll get to a point where I have to be able to do magic to it, and I can't. Well, I can, but my magic is just weak. Even at max magic level, my magic is weak. And I was still 1 short. There's another level after this. I'm not wasting the time. Okay, 5 is the cutoff. It now does 124 damage. Oh, I didn't realize it also changed the appearance of the shield. It's nice. All right, where's it gonna be at? Gotta sleep till morning to make it spawn in. It's an Upper to Nevron, or oh, wow, there's multiple. Go to the Institute or Upper to Nevron. I don't think it can knock me off on Upper to Nevron. Can it knock me off in the Institute? No. Not that I remember. So I'm gonna go here. Oh, it probably could. There is cliffs here. There's also cliffs in Upper to Nevron. Oh, I also should have read how I harvest this thing, huh? Okay, the challenge is that the locust seems to be central to the beast's head. We know it's on the face. There, with the restraint herald's arm, lest they be torn free. This in mind, its sudden and inexplicable lack of sapience can only be considered a wondrous gift. I do not wish to cast a shadow on our achievement of first defeating the herald at the source. The fact is that it was a last-ditch effort in the face of certain annihilation. If it were possessed of its full faculties, including its ability to learn from both our actions and its own mistakes, how does this tell me how to release its locus? That doesn't tell me how to release its locus. break all of its armor is, I guess, what I do. I'm really fighting here to not get upset at how dumb this fight is. There's so much quality of life that the game needs that it just does not have. Can you jump to a place that I can cut? Bryn, please! And again, it's on me because I'm getting bored of doing the same fight over and over again that I'm starting to rush just so I can get done with it, so I can move on to a new game. Because this is hopefully the final. Bryn, what are you doing? Just when I jump at him, stay on him so that I can cut him. Like, why is she not grabbing on? It's not a button I press. It's literally just her. She has to do something. I'm not bothering to cling because there's no point. I can get more swings in. That's what I do. Why are you? Jump up, not down, Bryn. Please. And he can just magically turn around and hit me when he's mid-swing, swinging down right there. He can just change his freaking trajectory. I don't even know what's going on there. Why aren't you grabbing onto him? That's your only thing you need to do. And then he magically flings me off, and she doesn't grab on again, allowing him to just magically turn and face me. I was saying I'm trying not to get annoyed and ragey, but this is like my third or fourth time doing this, excluding the mandatory boss fights, because she won't do what I need her to do, and then I run out of health potions, and I have to leave and come back. Bryn! Bryn! Just grab on! Why can't you just grab onto his body somewhere so I can hit him? I was on for like a second and immediately got flung off. Just gets to turn. Like, what? Who designed this fight? That's not how things work. If he's already swinging somewhere, the player should be able to get out of the way. Not that if I get out of the way, he shouldn't be allowed to just immediately swivel on command to drop a hit right on top of me. Bryn. Bryn! Hit! Or just keep shooting past him. Land on his body! Again, why? That's not where he was hitting. He was hitting at the place I was at, not the place I was currently on. I moved out of the way, and he still was allowed to hit me. Oh my god! Just do what I am doing! I'm so tired of fighting this guy. And the fact that the game just stopped spawning in health potions to force you to have to leave and come back is even more ridiculous because he has ranged moves. There's two up there. But he's gonna throw a freaking fireball right on top of him, because that's what he did in a different fight. As soon as I ran to grab the health potions, just random magic. Why did you drop to the floor? How am I out of stamina? I just got up there. Bryn, hit the thing. What are you doing? There, core is exposed. Can I get him to a point where I can harvest it? I had him near death the first two times, and then I realized, you gotta stop his arm. But nothing tells you how you stop his arm. My guess is it's ice magic. Even though there's nothing showing that that's the case. Come on. His hand is iced up. What are you doing? What was that? Why are you harvesting? I pressed and held it like 3 times. Okay, his hand is frozen. Does this count? No! That is so stupid. I'm sorry, but that is so unbelievably stupid. The number of times I had to do that because I either killed him or because apparently you're supposed to freeze his hand, but as you saw, it didn't matter that I was freezing his hand. So I thought I wasn't doing it correctly because he could still bump you off of his face with a frozen hand. It was just so dumb. So that is what you have to do. You have to freeze his hand, and then if you're lucky, he won't push you off while you're trying to end the fight. But he kept pushing me off. When it said, like it says in your codex entry, it says something like, you gotta bind the hand, you gotta restrain the hand. So that made me think I had to freeze his hand to something. But no, it was literally just freeze his hand and hope he can't grab you. I'm just tired. This one quest took me, what time is it, 6:30? Started around 4, 2.5 hours. With breaks, I had to take breaks because I was raging in between because it wasn't working. But now that it has worked, this is the one I'm keeping, even if there was rage involved. And then yeah, Bryn just, as always, just randomly fires off in the wrong direction. Someone hit me with a rock. Actually, I think I launched that rock into myself. She'll just shoot over the Herald, or she'll land at the Herald, but she won't grab onto him. Yeah, let's hear about how I died.
I don't know what to tell you about fighting the Herald, but I think we're both glad it's finally shut the hell up.
Thanks, Aurea. She normally gives you advice for what to do in fights. That was her answer. I don't know what to tell you. Oh my gosh.
Good news. I harvested the Herald's pattern.
Splendid. If you'll let me handle the resonance. Dom, come and look at this. Bryn's brought back the Surgeborn resonance and...
Fascinating. It really is like nothing I've laid hands on.
The Herald was telling the truth, then. About this, at least.
Walk me through it, team.
Dom, do you want to?
Yes. This is the second resonance I've had access to, and I didn't realize before, but it's clearly not of this world. It resembles nothing mentioned in any literature I've ever seen. The Hearthsiders' libraries have nothing about this, not even the Spindle's tomes. Exploring the possibility of other worlds could consume decades of a researcher's life, and they'd barely scratch the surface. It was a theoretical, primary theological pursuit before, but this strand changes everything.
So you're suggesting this is an entirely novel field of research?
That is precisely the fact of the matter, my curly-haired friend.
First, what do you mean second? I have 2 from the story. That's the third. Is it because I don't think I turned it in. I didn't turn it in. He better not send me off to get a third one. I already have 3. You guys are getting too sciencey.
All right, you two. Put it in words that the lady with the big sword can understand. In particular, I need to know what this means for next time I try to take this thing down.
For you, very little for now. The resonance is self-healing, but beyond that, it seems that some other element dictates the Herald's regeneration. I would not be surprised if you saw it again, but without its connection to home, it will not be able to evolve or adapt.
So the resonance heals itself, but it won't turn into a Surgeborn on its own. Good.
There's something else to worry about. One large thing. What amount of this information are we comfortable sharing? And with whom?
I wish I could draw from weaving history to provide guidance, but something this big has never happened before.
The Axel has always appreciated our transparency. We should tell her first.
I would assume she's busy with her duties as interim leader, but on the other hand, I've no clue. Truly, my font of wisdom runs empty.
I think this one's big enough that we can bother her about it without feeling guilty.
You're right, of course. I'll meet you in Cassidan's hold. I just need to document this while it's fresh in my mind.
And I will continue experimenting. What a wonderful opportunity.
See you in the hold, Lane.
She also has a huge crush on you, even though her girlfriend just died. Yeah, I have 3. I just didn't turn it in. I was gonna say, if you're gonna be like, oh, go take out another one, I'm gonna be mad. It's gonna be very mad. That is the worst one. The Herald is by far the worst. The Herald, the Ice one, the Frost Tide one, whatever it's called, Winter's Tide, and then the last one that sucks is the Brennig Glasstail.
Good morning, Khan Arteme. Might we trouble you with some questions of a fairly important nature?
You're already here, so you may as well.
This is a pretty big one, for the record.
We have learned something astounding about the Surgeborn and the fundamental nature of the Source.
Something new?
Yes. When Bryn was engaged in combat down in the Source, the Herald spoke to her of its origins. It told her it hailed from another world, and at the Source is a celestial wound through which the Surgeborn found their way here.
We thought it might have been lying, trying to throw me off. But recently, we realized it's regenerated. So I killed it again. Took a resonance from its pattern to Lane and Dom, and...
It was all true.
all of it.
Dom is very excited about the existence of other worlds and will continue researching. But it sits ill with me.
How so?
You and I spoke at length on how the truth, the whole truth, must be made available to all. But this isn't just some political secret. It changes our approach to everything. Religion, weaving, the way we place ourselves in the world.
I understand. I assume you've thought a great deal about this. Give me a risk assessment.
That's just the thing. Understanding more about the world. It's beautiful. Wonderful. I have enough perspective, however, to know that the same may not be true for others. Especially those who have lived here through the Surge. Would it bring peace to their hearts? Would this knowledge shared free to all improve their lives? I fear not. But perhaps I am the fool for thinking that I am wise enough to know what is best for others.
I see. Thank you for sharing your thoughts with me. First things first, we need to find out what Kenrick knew about this. Let's fetch him, shall we?
What do you want?
I was hoping to draw on some of your memories, if you wouldn't mind. It's in regards to a security matter.
If it's a security matter, then those two shouldn't be privy to it.
That's no longer your call. In the years where you held the Surgeborn Talon in custody, did it ever speak to you of its origins?
I will not incriminate myself.
I'm simply asking a question from someone who's in charge to someone who was in charge.
And you may simply ram that question up where the sun doesn't shine.
You're useless. You may leave.
I'm useless. I'm not the one chasing religious fairy tales about worlds beyond our own. Ridiculous.
So you knew, and kept it to yourself. That's more than enough from you.
I'll leave you to your hunt for a desert Akala, then.
Exhausting. I'm sorry about him, as always. Now, given the services you have rendered us, I believe you deserve a little trust. So I'll listen to what you think I should tell our people of the Herald and the worlds beyond ours and whatever else.
It's humbling to have earned such trust, and we won't squander it. Before I speak, do you have any thoughts on this, Bryn?
So it's got to be either Dom or Lane. Dom can't do this alone, so we do need more research people. But also, fueling Lane's research is a good way to go.
I trust you more than I trust myself. On this, at least. You've shown that you can make the right choice, so I'd rather leave this to you.
Oh, well, that's fine too. I wouldn't have minded hearing your thoughts, but I appreciate the vote of confidence. 3 major facets of this problem loom in my mind. First, that of the research possibilities. Keeping this revelation under lock and key would obviously gatekeep untold numbers of discoveries. Second, that of those who adhere to the various religions around the Maida. I fear that disclosing the existence of other worlds to the public at large could upset a great many people at best, and trigger a holy war at worst. They have been waged on far smaller provocations than this. Finally, and most importantly, so many of the problems we've encountered here have been because people kept secrets. Whether they were forced to keep them or not, the existence of those secrets significantly hamstrung our efforts to learn about the Enclave. If I had any choice in the matter, I would change that status quo in a heartbeat.
Now is your chance. If you want to seize the moment, I will respect your choice.
The irony is that I find myself faltering on the precipice, because I've now been presented with truly dangerous knowledge. Before I entered the Enclave, before we undertook this wondrous journey, I would have been adamant that everyone know each intimate detail. But now, I believe we must find an acceptable truth to share. But not the whole truth.
What do you have in mind, then?
Subject to your approval, we start by telling your people the story of the Source, the entire truth, barring that of the breach. Then we tell the people that, as it stands right now, the monster they saw at the Grand Gate is eternal. But more importantly, we are working on ways to combat it. We keep its true origins close to our chest. Knowing how to contain the Surgeborn is much more important. For now, we tell part of the truth. We share select details and let the people weave their own interpretations. We control the narrative by allowing conflicting narratives to spread. And one day, the denizens of the Maida may be ready to know the full truth. Is that acceptable to you, Khan Arteme?
Yes, it is. And might I say, you would have made an amazing politician had you stayed in Judea.
That's kind of you to say. But I have too strong a moral core to do that kind of work.
Very understandable. It's not for everyone. Nevertheless, I will communicate our story to the public. Let's hope the ensuing chaos is limited. I'd like to build trust again.
It's the right thing to do.
Lane, Bryn, thank you for your time and assistance.
It has been our everlasting pleasure, Khan Arteme.
You know what's great for building trust? Immediately lying to your subjects. Hey, it's your choice. You're doing it. No one's telling you to lie to them.
You're being unusually quiet. You can't talk. We didn't just cut off your ability to access the scry. The Ark of Verdance must have done something to you at the source. Huh. I wonder what this means.
Oh, well, bye. Let's go consult with Lane. End this off.
I feel as if a great weight has been lifted from my shoulders. When one begins to live their life beyond dusty old tomes, they must reckon with the complexities that are part and parcel of lived experience. Which is to say, you have truly been an agent of change in my life, Bryn. In wonderful ways, of course.
Well, you're not so bad yourself.
I try my best. But really, I feel good.
How are you feeling about your research as a whole?
Excellent. I'm going to chronicle everything. Even if some of it may not see the light of day for some time, I have faith that it will, someday. And when it does, it will be useful to those who need it.
And what about that? Keeping it under wraps, I mean.
I suppose I have learned a sense of nuance. In Udea, keeping secrets was like breathing, but almost every secret was trivial or petty at best. And, more importantly, kept as a means through which to exert power. That was Kenrick's approach too. Power through secrets. Whereas I would hope that my reasons to keep secrets are driven by a sense of care and kindness. Do you think so?
I do. And more importantly, I know you're the kind of person to seek outside accountability if you need it.
With you and everyone else at my back, my worries are now few and far between. All that remains is to continue my research. And I'll need you to keep bringing back items of interest, of course.
I won't stop looking for things to bring home. Don't you worry.
Then I won't keep you. Get adventuring.
That ends a shift in perspective, and I believe that's the final mission?
I hardly recognize Zev these days. Now that he's broken off ties with Kenrick and the Norians, he's got a new spring in his step.
He credits his growth to your mentorship a great deal, Sola.
I'm just so happy seeing him happy.
It's a tragic story, really.
The dissenters?
Yes. They were scared. Everyone was. And I don't blame them for not trusting the Eye. So they did what they felt right, and...
It all went wrong anyway.
Feels a bit familiar, doesn't it?
I think we fared a little better than they did, in the end. We might still be stuck in the Enclave, but we've achieved so much. Especially when it comes to the Hearthsiders. They trust us now. And if we work together, I'm sure we can find a way back out.
Very true. I'm sure the dissenters would have been happy to see the progress we've made. While their methods may have been ineffective, it's important to remember that they were a product of circumstance. After all, it's hard to make wise choices in a climate of panic. Their intentions were good. So, I would like to imagine that our efforts honor their memories, at the very least.
For sure. Who would have thought the Herald was telling the truth about the source?
Not me. The fact that it so readily shared that information, it doesn't sit well with me.
Do you think it was trying to manipulate us?
Every word it ever spoke was in service of that goal. Just focus on what you do best. Answers will come with time.
Will do.
We're lucky she made it out alive.
That's more than luck. Bryn's tough as calm steel for surviving all that.
I was so scared she...
It's a dangerous job, Kaz. You're going to have to come to terms with that.
I know.
And that's it. That is every quest in the game. The only thing left to do is hunt down all of the yellow bricks. I'm just gonna do them randomly. I'm not gonna devote all of my time so that I can still play other games, but if I ever have like downtime or videos uploading, I'll jump on and hunt for some bricks. There's like 70 something. And I've only found like 10.